Here are 5 effective strategies to help you conquer tough guitar parts like this ragtime piece that I've been working on. We all come across parts that are really tough to get right, no matter your level, and it might feel frustrating, but it's actually a good thing because you can't really grow or get better if you don't push yourself. But we can stack the deck in our favor with these few strategies that we're going to cover. Some of these I keep having to remind myself of time and time again, like this one. In this ragtime example, there was a lick that I was consistently flubbing. It's this bit here. The rest of the tune was basically under my fingers, but I had problems just cleanly playing that note with my pinky. And in a part like this, where I'm comfortable with 80% of the material but mess up on 20%, I should really just focus on the problem area. Focus on the 20% that's the problem. This is really tough for me to do, and maybe it is for you too. I feel like we want to go back over the parts that sound good because it's kind of rewarding. It sounds good, and it feels better than focusing on the part that we can't quite do. But try to resist the temptation to practice the whole part, including the part that you already have down. Instead, zoom in on just the part that's causing you problems. When I do this, I get further faster, and the whole piece shines because of it. And when I don't, I waste time running over parts that I'm really good at already, and I'm kind of ignoring the glaring issue. So when you encounter a tough part, focus your attention on it, and once you gain some ground on it, slowly work back up to playing it with the whole part. For me, playing fast is fun, but playing sloppy definitely is not, and I tend to make more mistakes when I'm playing fast. And yes, some parts are supposed to be fast, but that doesn't mean that we should learn them that way. If a part is difficult because it's fast, try playing the part slow enough that you can't possibly get it wrong. All right, but here's the trick with this idea. While you're playing so slowly that you can't possibly mess it up, take note of what it is that you're doing that ensures that you can't mess up. It's likely more than just reducing the tempo. For me, I would notice that I moved my wrist in such a way that allowed a bigger stretch and I could play that note. All right, so this is great, but we're not gonna play the piece this slowly. We need to work back up to tempo. Do this with a metronome. Slowly repeat the part at progressively faster tempos, and at some point you're gonna be back up to your tempo goal. And if it's not coming together, stop increasing the tempo at whatever point where things fall apart and practice just below that and get a ton of confidence at that level. This is the edge of your comfort zone. And when you can reliably nail things there, then increase again and keep repeating that process of judge where your comfort zone is and then increase. But actually, I want you to keep going beyond your goal tempo. I want you to overshoot it until things break down again. And once that happens, reduce the tempo back down to the goal tempo. You'll likely notice that your goal tempo that once was kind of out of reach and seemed really fast now seems a lot slower than it did. We've kind of shifted your perspective of tempo. And this is powerful for really getting inside tough parts, especially if speed is the thing that makes it tough. But sometimes it's something else entirely that makes the part tough. Is it a guitar technique that's standing in your way? Maybe. Ask yourself questions like these to help identify the issue. Are you tensing up when you approach the part? Does your legato sound smooth and fluid? Does slides sound connected or broken? Is each note clear? Are you picking strings accidentally? For me, I was stumbling on this one tiny part in the ragtime example, and I was doing it a few times in a row. This single string finger picking technique is something that I don't do a lot. I do it occasionally, but not a lot. And I was stumbling here. So once I noticed that, then I realized it's time to drill it. So I spent a few minutes just hyper focused on drilling this move. But here's the real secret to this. Don't just stop with playing the part until you get it right. That's helpful, but that's just practicing for the part and not practicing the technique that enables the part and others like it. So now try playing this on different strings. Drill it backwards with different chords, with different fingers. Drill it as many different ways as you can think of until you get the moves down. This is where you can take hard-won skills and really make it pay off the next time you need it. All right, this one isn't rocket science, but it is very effective. effective, and I believe it is an underrated practice tool. Your fingers and your brain just need a break to process what you just put them through. When I'm hit with a tough part, I'll set a timer for 20 minutes, and then when the timer goes off, I put the guitar down and walk away. I'll take a 10-minute break, get some Topo Chico, or just stretch my legs, then I'll come back and try again, and I'm getting further in less time when I do this. On the surface, you'd think that taking a break is time away from the fretboard. You can't possibly get further when you're not practicing, but I found the opposite to be true. For me, breaks are very helpful, and when I don't take them, there's a point where the benefits of practicing just start to stall out. And it doesn't matter how much time I practice. If I'm in that stall period, I'm not getting anywhere, and I'm certain that I'm actually doing more harm than good. My fingers hurt and things just fall apart. And ultimately, I'm practicing poorly and reiterating and getting reps in on poor playing. That's not what we want. So take breaks and use a timer to make sure you do. Remember my pinky lick in the ragtime piece? It turns out that even after I slowed down and drilled it to the point where I could nail it reliably, there was still one more problem. When I was performing the tune, I would get to the bar before it and I would tell myself, don't mess up. Here comes that pinky part. Here it comes, stuff like that. And I was really in my head about it. So much so that even though I could play the part, I drilled it effectively, I was just wrecking my progress in the moment. So here's how I tackled the problem. I went back to the bar before the tough part and worked on the transition into. And then I worked on the transition out of the tough part. I wanted to become as relaxed with the entire 3-bar part as I was with just the lick. Even if you're lucky enough to not have that voice in your head telling you you're gonna mess up, practicing the transitions will lead to a better overall performance. So spend time drilling each transition into and out. That way, when it comes up in the performance, you're well prepared. Each of these strategies has helped me and many of my students, but what if the parts of a song are all tough? That's a sign you might be reaching a bit too far above your current ability, and you just need some stepping stones put in front of you to help you get there. And that's what the fingerstyle roadmap inside My BGI is all about. The roadmap is a proven pathway through BGI's lessons that will help you know what to practice next and help you stack skills so that you can play great acoustic blues guitar. You can click the link right over here to learn more about becoming a member, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, practice smart and play on.